And welcome back to Cinema Vino. My name's Todd Wofford. It's good to have you guys here with us again this week. And unfortunately, last week we were off due to my sick baby's home. This week I have caught what they have, and I believe I have enough voice to record this intro, but not a whole lot more. So for that reason, and more importantly, so I don't get the other guys in the podcast who are very dear to me, I don't get them sick as well, we're going to hold off until next week to do a new episode. But the good news is that gives us time to look at another classic episode that we did on another sci-fi movie that a lot of people may not have seen, may have flown under the radar, a movie called Dark City. So, from 2021, here is the group of us doing Dark City. And tune in next week. We will be, I promise, back on track. So thank you so much and enjoy. And welcome back to Cinema Vino. It's our first time podding. We haven't podded in a while. It's been a few weeks.
It's a cool vacation.
It's a good thing we had a backlog of episodes.
So, did we?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was unaware.
Mm-hmm. So this week we're going to talk about another movie from the 90s, Dark City.
Welcome, Sean.
Welcome, Travis.
Howdy. Hey, welcome Todd.
Yeah. Taylor is going through the Adirondacks right now. He's hiking, rediscovering himself.
Yep.
So
I think he took a fifth of peyote. I don't know if a fifth is the right amount.
Yeah.
Can we talk about drug use on this?
Handle of peyote.
Speaking of drug use, what are we drinking?
We right now are doing the Route 1 Carbonera. As a pre-booze, we did the Turley Juvenile Zinfandel.
That was titties drenched in wine.
It was also just wine drenched in wine.
Mm-hmm. Wish it was drenched in titties.
That would be a good tagline. Titties drenched in wine.
Wine drenched in titties.
Drenched in wine.
So, Dark City.
So Dark City.
Sorry. 8 seconds.
I think if it's an original. Was that an original or you
No, it was a Tori Amos.
Okay. So yeah, I
Was that Beck?
Heart is drenched in wine? No? But mine was titties drenched in. Anyway, we watched Dark City.
So cult movie, 1998 release, directed by Alex Proyas, who also directed The Crow.
He also produced it and wrote it, right?
Yep.
Okay.
We could do an interesting podcast on The Crow and the behind the scenes goings on with that movie. Very interesting. But it kind of fits this movie fits that same old very dark, noirish kind of pulp comic booky feel. So the basic rundown of it for those who haven't seen it, is that it's sci-fi, it takes place, out there in the galaxy somewhere.
Spoilers.
Well, spoilers. Well, all we know is this guy wakes up in a city and everyone is frozen except for him.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a mysterious phone call that says like, oh shit, you gotta run.
Mm-hmm.
And so he fucks off. And then it's an adventure of him running away from some weird conspiracy of
Bald white dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Which
not skinheads.
Just sounds like politics.
Yeah.
Yep. A bunch of Stephen Merchant looking like aliens. So yeah, city. There's always night. And yeah, and there's a little bit of a Matrixy vibe to it where it's like he is an everyday dude who has these sudden powers that he can use.
There's a lot of parallels that I can draw to the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which
color palette,
first of all. Plot, second of all. Third, apparently they sold a lot of these set pieces to the Matrix for production.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Wow.
Jeez. And the guy that's chasing him, the main stranger dude, like Mr. Hand, he was in Rocky Horror Picture Show. I recognized him from that. He's the humpback guy that actually wrote Rocky Horror or produced. I don't remember. And I don't remember his character's name.
That's a fun fact.
Mm-hmm. He was great in that part.
Yeah.
as the villain.
So take us through the plot. I mean, what are some general themes that we noticed?
So yeah, this Rufus Sewell plays this everyman character who wakes up, and discovers he has these powers. Everybody's frozen in this city, and he can't figure out why, except for Kiefer Sutherland, who plays this, eccentric, obviously traumatized, I don't want to say lobotomized, but almost like, psychologically ravaged.
Clearly damaged.
Yeah.
Somehow.
And so he is awake, and these bizarre alien humanoids,
visitors or observers or whatever.
yeah, kind of Star Trek-y looking villains. Yep. They're awake, and so he has to solve. He has no memory of himself, who he is, yada yada. Kiefer Sutherland's character was about to inject him with something at the beginning of the movie, and then he's
Kiefer Sutherland.
Exactly.
But then he has a wife, allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
And
Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah, Jennifer Connelly. There's a dead body in the room that he's in where he wakes up, and he doesn't know what that's about.
Spirals cut into the dead body, which is a theme through this.
Yeah, but it never really comes back.
It does.
It kind of does, but
it does. I think in the Alien Underground, you see some spirals.
well, so the maze is like a theme of the movie, right? Is like you see at the very beginning, Kiefer Sutherland puts a rat into a maze, like a big circular maze. And then that's a thing. And then the entire city itself, when you zoom out, is a giant circle.
And nobody has any concept of how to get out of it.
Well, no one wants to. No one has any desire to. They just accept it.
The last spiral I saw is when the city is changing again from a top down, and then all the clouds are shaped in a spiral too. It's been rotating.
Okay.
Almost like a self-contained galaxy kind of a thing, like a little miniature. Or a snow globe.
So the strangers kind of look like the Nosferatu or the vampires from Salem's Lot. They're all like super pale, bald dudes.
Dark eyes.
Richard O'Brien, who played Riff Raff in Rocky Horror, that's who plays Mr. Hand, the main guy after our protagonist.
Yeah.
And somehow the strangers have a power called tuning, to where they can somewhat change reality, and they also have weird kind of mind powers.
Telekinesis, basically.
And so our protagonist finds out he has that same weird power itch. So it starts out as almost a film noir, like kind of a detective thing, like a whodunit with amnesia angle. And it, morphs into this like weird, crazy, you kind of feel like you're going insane as well.
Yeah.
So you're just like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. So basically these strangers are basically creating this massive city where they have a whole bunch of people trapped, and they continuously inject new memories into them to try and determine what it is about humans that makes them human, to try to find the soul, basically. Yeah. And so by injecting continuous different memories, they basically try to see how different people react to different memories in different scenarios, and then try and basically zero in on what is making people do what they do, and see like what variables happen if they inject the same memories over and over. And so our protagonist has to then break the mold, determine what's happening, fight the power.
Yeah.
Fight the power.
There's a lot of references to Fritz Lang's movie Metropolis, 1925.
Oh, sweet.
Silent movie.
I've been wanting to watch that. It's on YouTube.
Okay. So I thought that it was kind of an H.R. Geiger vibe.
That too.
Down in the
below
basement or whatever, wherever the strangers were hanging out.
There's deep machines underneath the city.
Yeah, they have like a giant woman's face that opens up to a clock. And that gave me real H.R. Geiger, especially like the Brain Salad Surgery album cover for Emerson, Lake and Palmer. You know what I'm talking about? That by H.R. Geiger was like, boom.
I know Geiger did a lot of the art for Alien and Aliens.
Yeah.
In case our viewers aren't as smart as we are.
But in Metropolis, it was the reverse idea that in this movie where it's like the elite class of that movie studied and fed off of the lower classes who were down deep, below them. And so,
Kind of Soylent Green thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were delicious. But it's like the underground people, it's like there's the one guy who becomes the representative or whatever of these lower tiered people. And it's like this movie flips that to where it's like the aliens are the ones beneath and the humans are up above, like living their lives, but unaware of it.
See, I was getting a lot of, again, they look like vampires, and I thought they were kind of feeding off of their prey like vampires, and that Kiefer Sutherland was kind of their Renfield. He was their guy, their cat's paw, their dude on the inside that would do shit for him.
See, I got kind of like, did you ever watch Fringe TV show?
I haven't.
I like
it's on my docket.
Matt LeBlanc.
So
the highlight.
There's a character or a group of people that are based in like an actual conspiracy theory that is called the Men in Black, which obviously resulted in the movie The Men in Black. But it's basically like observers. It's just very pale white dudes and like always wear black, always wear hats. They're always just spotted in like weird events that they just observe. That's all they do. I got real vibes of that from this.
In Metropolis, and again, I thought this of this movie. I told this to my wife. Was like this is the vision of the future because Metropolis is like set in the 21st-ish century, turn of the century. It's like the view of what the future would be like from 1925, and this to me is like Dark City was like a view of the future from like 1955. You know, it's like that future, but it's like people still drive like the old like. You know, Studebaker, Tucker type cars, you know, they still kind of dress film noirish.
Well, I read that was intentional by the director, that they kept putting a whole bunch of different stuff from different time periods to try to make it more like unsettling. Like, you know, it's set in the 90s, but it has a whole bunch of stuff from like the 1920s and the 1950s and like cars and themes and like stuff, just to always have you on edge about like not feeling comfortable about the setting.
Yeah.
Well, they have, okay, so again, spoilers. Basically, these are aliens that have abducted humans and put them on this kind of satellite Dark City space station, basically.
Observation.
Because it's not it's not a full planet in and of itself. So it looks like, you know, spaceship, satellite, whatever. But the aliens themselves look like weird little CGI jellyfish or something, you know, whatever kind of translucent fucking jellyfish alien you can think of. But what's cool is they use the cadavers of humans to, you know, hop inside their brains and
become the strangers,
to become ambulatory or, you know, walk around. But again, they also are like vampires because they hate light and they have an aversion to water. Now, some vampire myths, they have aversion to water because water is life-giving, whatever. But, that's where I'm done.
Well, and vampires sometimes also have some kind of mind control abilities too.
Yes.
Like these guys. So that
put people to sleep.
Well, these guys, they have tuning, which is basically like telekinesis, but also they can like put you to sleep. Go to sleep.
But the other thing was they said they took several ideas from like past Earths or whatever. That's why they said it in the movie, why they took from different timelines and put it together. But what's also interesting
simulation
is that they took the memories from all the people that they had abducted or in the past abducted and used that, they said, like paint to mix them up and then put it in other people. So those memories that they have are probably real, but they might be somebody else's memories of different past.
That was Kiefer Sutherland's role, is he was the only one that had like the human touch that could
the mix master
mix. Yeah, he was their DJ. He was their mix master. Yeah.
One thing I picture is a little bit different, like the Sherwin-Williams, where it's like you get like your paint made, and it's like they put like a little bit of blue, a little bit of red, a little bit of whatever brown. That's like they mix a little dollop of each, and you get your own unique paint.
You ever see the video channel where someone just watches paint getting made, where they drop in the different, they just drop in the different colors into the toner, and then as it's shaking, the guy's like, I think it's going to be like chartreuse. And then when they open it up, it's chartreuse. He's like, oh my God, it is.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And it's like, that's the crazy thing is the individuality of people. It's like, there's not going to be any two mixes that are ever alike. There are always going to be subtle differences in everything. So it's like pretty similar color or whatever, but it's going to be, can't be exact.
Yeah.
So
I was reading up on this movie, and apparently, well, actually, apparently the studio made the director dumb down the movie because his original vision for it was like very, high level, like he had an idea in mind. The script was like super heady. And the studio was like, no one's going to get this. Everyone's going to fucking hate this. You need to dumb this down. So what they did at the very fucking beginning of the movie is they have a voiceover
of Queefer,
just giving away the entire plot of the movie so that you can actually understand what's happening.
Yeah.
So that, and then I think they also forced him to add a scene where you can see the force field around the satellite to kind of show like what happens when you break out. And like why you can't just escape and run away.
Yeah, because I really thought William Hurt, spoiler alert, was not going to die right there. I thought he was going to like, move out of the way, trip the dude and push him through. I was like, oh, is he going to swim back?
He's dead.
I really thought Homeboy was going to use his telekinesis to bring him back, but I was like, hey, well, you're a dick. You just let him die. And I thought he was doing a rope-a-dope thing because the sleep power didn't work on him at all because he had the weird tuning, but they were like, just give up, sleep. And so I thought he was like falling down. He was like, all right, I'm going to pop up and save her. Gotcha. I've seen this movie once before for a film class a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't love it then. I still didn't quite love it now. Like I get why it's a cult classic and all that, but I think it can be another 15 years before I watch it.
It really is just like The Matrix, if The Matrix took itself a little bit more like seriously.
Yeah, because they're flying around shooting mind bullets and shit.
I mean, is it not like almost scene for scene for The Matrix where like you have Agent Smith, who is the one, stranger who injects himself with the serial killer memories.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're doing the weird
pretty much exactly what Agent Smith did, where he was like, I've been around you. I smell like you. I hate it. Yeah. He did the exact same thing. And it's the big cabal of weird dudes in black that run the whole simulation. A whole bunch of people in a simulation for some other motivation. And then one person breaks out and he has superpowers and he's the one that fights the bad guys. And there's the Matrix, and it came out a year before.
That the color palette also is like, oh, is that a white color? Or it's almost a sickly green. There's sickly green,
one other thing I saw around that was interesting is they actually built all of the sets for this movie. They didn't use any pre-made sets so that they can make all the angles just a little off to make you uncomfortable.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Okay. So when they are going through the midnight tuning, changing things around, if Homeboy protagonist can make a door in a wall, why did they let that one dude get smashed between two buildings? I thought he would have turned around and been like, let's widen this window.
Yeah. Well, you also got to think that was like 700 of the strangers versus the one guy. Like, he can't stand a chance.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not telling, I wouldn't be trying to stop the entire building. I would just be trying to make the window a little wider. Or, he got his coat stuck on the railing. Like, you
make your thing disappear.
Yeah. Make the railing break. And then, anyway.
Or incorporeal.
Yep. Oh, ambulatory.
$1,000 word for you. So y'all go Google incorporeal now.
Buildings Roman.
So I remember seeing it when it came out. I enjoyed it then. It was just something different, kind of quirky. I mean, it's an unusual film for sure. I thought seeing it in 1998 or whatever, that the special effects then were impressive. I thought they were weird. Now that, they don't necessarily age very well, but I feel like they were almost deliberately made to, like the city was made to look artificial and almost like matte painting movie-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah. It did remind me of Sin City. You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah. It's like you could tell it played a role in Sin City and Matrix and all these movies that came after.
It's always nighttime. Like, fuck.
And yeah, very noirish, very edgy. It's like, she smelled like the dames on a smell or whatever. It's like, and it has that kind of weird.
It's almost like the director was like, okay, so in noir movies, like it's always nighttime. What if that was like for a reason?
Literally, yeah.
Like it's nighttime all the time for a reason.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting they gave Kiefer Sutherland a wonky eye when the protagonist had a wonky eye. That seems like kind of a dick move.
It's like a mole that you can't stop staring at.
Yeah.
But it's the great cast in this. And, even Rufus Sewell's, as the nobody, the everyman, the main character.
Oh, yeah.
I still feel like Kiefer Sutherland was a weird casting for this role.
I thought he did pretty good, though. But again, his voiceover at the beginning, and then when you hear him talk, his weird, breathless, I was like, well, that's
Weird.
Is this
breathless?
like, is he the character giving the voiceover, or is this before he was, whacked out? And then where do they go from here? Like, they just, again, spoiler alert, they turn on the water again. If the strangers have an aversion to water, I guess their idea was, well, we'll surround it in water and nobody can leave. It's the Truman Show. You have to get stuck here in the middle. You can't ever leave. But why would they have all these canals? Like, you have an aversion to water. Why is water fucking everywhere?
Well, you do need water to keep humans alive.
Yeah, but you can just use a sink and not have all these goddamn canals.
It's like Signs, where the aliens invade a planet that's made up of water. Very bizarre.
And at the end, they're stuck on the satellite that
Didn't think that one through, did you, Alien?
That Homeboy can, I guess he can control. He just tilts it. He was like, well, I guess this is okay. We'll just live here for the rest of our life. Well, until he dies. And then the rest of the guys, like, where do they get their fucking food?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I had several questions.
Yes.
A lot of logistical questions at the beginning of this movie.
Yeah.
To your point about his stutter versus his non-stutter, if you remember, spoilers, whenever he gets that memory injected into him that basically tells him, like, here's how you train on how to use the tuning, and this is everything, and let me tell you about all your life. Didn't have a stutter in that part.
And that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe that was part of the imprint that he was giving that. Oh, I like it. I like what you're saying.
Yep.
I think
If we
catch a lot
weren't
more.
being recorded, I'd put my mouth on yours.
It is one of those movies that you pick up a lot more on when you watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also a really heavy watch. Like, it's not something you can just like sit down and just breeze through.
It is. I thought so too. Yeah, that's what Joanna thought. It was pretty heavy going.
Yeah.
But, she thought it was odd. And I was like, well, I think I told her, I was like, if you watch like even like Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, even that kind of stuff, but also like your, Philip K. Dick and all these other Harlan Ellison, like sci-fi stuff, it's not quite that weird, or if you see like your Fritz Lang Metropolis type, your old school, like really old sci-fi, it's like, it kind of hits those same buttons.
I do just love the idea that the studio was like, no, you're being way too smart. Dumb it down.
It shows you what studios think of us.
Yeah. I mean, they were right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, for the bulk of us.
Well,
Some of our
so
shitty listeners.
there is a director's cut,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh.
Which is significantly longer.
Oh, I would always rather watch the director's cut.
Zack Snyder.
Touche. Yeah, don't release the Snyder. Put the Snyder cut back where it belongs.
Yeah, put it back.
Put it back in the vault. We're going to take a brief break and we're going to choose our next movie out of a bin.
Oh, are we done with Dark City?
Unless you guys have any closing, dish it out there.
Nope.
I'm good.
No, I don't. We will be right back. We are now, and we're back. So
Hey.
we are going to draw.
Welcome, Todd.
Welcome, Sean.
Welcome, Travis.
So we are going to draw a movie for next time. These are movies that we feel are either very underrated or overrated. And we want to go back and check them out and see how they've held up under time. So, who wants to draw? Who's going to be
Sean's closest.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
There's a lot of pressure.
closest to my heart?
Did you already give a shake up?
Oh, hold on.
Good, because I can't fit my hand in there.
That's what she said.
Hey.
That's the grossest thing. I apologize to you in the audience, sir. I'm not usually that disgusting.
It is Batman the Animated Series.
Ooh.
Fuck yes. Okay, so it's actually a 3 episode arc of Batman the Animated Series Heart of Steel, parts 1 and 2, and then the sequel, His Silicon Soul. So I'll send that to you guys. I'm just feeling a little saucy and a little drunk.
Is the episode after that like the rubber foot?
Which one?
Now let's draw an actual movie to go along with
Jesus.
that.
All right.
We'll do that for sure. But
Yeah, I'll just go fuck myself.
so
Here, wait.
because all the rest of these are going to be movies, so we'll pair a movie with it and we'll double up.
Well, it's a fine bearing.
Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow.
Damn it.
Travis rigged this with some kind of voodoo.
I did not write either one of these, and I put them both in. And actually, This is good pairing.
That's like, these all say Sky Captain and Batman the Animated Series.
Some like sleight of hand happened.
These are all the 7 of spades. This is ridiculous.
Find the queen.
Everything's coming up T-Bud.
Looks like everything's coming up Millhouse.
So we're going to watch a movie with the fake Laurence Olivier. So hope y'all are happy.
Scorpion King 5 is our next movie.
Trying to see where it's. Oh yeah, I think it's on Amazon Prime for free.
Okay.
Sky Captain.
And Batman.
And then Batman is on HBO Max.
Cool.
And I will let you know what numbers it is. I think it's in like 39 and 40.
Okay.
And then like 43.
Incidentally, there are like 40 plus seasons of Looney Tunes on HBO Max. My son and I have made it through about 17 of them.
Look, you need
Seasons?
I think
Jesus.
if you hop onto Hulu, they got them Tiny Tunes.
Yeah. Were you an Animaniacs guy? I think you were an Animaniacs guy.
No, not
I
really.
was an Animaniacs guy.
I enjoyed
Went through
them,
a phase.
but I was more a Tiny Tuner.
Okay. So yeah, what was I going to say? Oh, another movie I thought about putting in here, but I did not, was Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I want to go back and give that a look.
Yeah. You know, we actually brought that up whenever we were talking about the Tom and Jerry movie that came out
Yeah.
a few months ago.
Ugh.
Right. But it's like mixed animation or
Mhm.
mixed medium movies with like some animated, some live action.
Yeah.
But that's definitely the gold standard of that.
Yeah. I remember seeing that as a little kid and I was just blown away.
Although I guess Paddington Bear 2 is also up there.
It's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
It gets now a better Rotten Tomatoes than Citizen Kane.
Well, that's because they unearthed like a random review from like the 1940s.
That's a dick move, by the way.
That's such a dick move.
It's like Orson Welles, that's his masterpiece. That's like, and, you know, Herman Mankiewicz tells people that's like the greatest thing that they ever did. It's held up, you know, Library of Congress as a work of art and all this shit. And it's like, okay, well, we got Aunt Patty's review over here. Let's get that out of the attic. She says it stinks. Let's get that on Rotten Tomatoes.
I actually have an Aunt Patty.
I think everybody has an Aunt Patty.
BT Dubs, takes a long time between when we actually podcast. I think we should pull one more
Yeah.
You want to do it?
because I also feel bad when we make both of mine.
You get in there.
This is going to be Sky Captain. We're going to watch Sky Captain World tomorrow several times.
Your cards,
Scorpion King
motherfucker.
1 through 5. Which one is it?
Fright Night 2.
Ooh, part 2. Ick.
Con Air.
Which you can watch on YouTube in Blu-ray quality.
Con Air? Really?
Friday Night Part 2.
No. Yeah. Say, man, I know what I'm doing later tonight. This is actually me. This is a Steven Spielberg movie that I wanted to go back to for a long time called Always. With
Have you always wanted to go back to that?
ironically, yes. It's held up, and I think Roger Ebert even said this, like, this is his, like, lowest regarded movie, or one of. He made it in between Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade and Hook.
Lowest regarded critically or like publicly?
Yes.
Huh.
Kind of both. I would say it's down to either this, or I don't know if you guys saw a movie called 1941. That he
John
did.
Belushi.
Yeah. That he did in between Close Encounter of the Third Kind and Raiders of the Lost Ark. This was the 1941 was kind of the movie that put Spielberg in check, like ego wise. So that's why he said, okay, I need a producer who is as big as me, who can kind of like balance me out. So
He needs a no man.
he went to George Lucas and said, you know, the story goes, he was talking to George Lucas. They went on vacation and he's like, I'm just going to direct a Bond movie. I'm going to do something easy after 1941 bombed. And George Lucas said, I got something better than Bond. I've got an archaeologist. So the story was that they developed the Indiana Jones character from there.
Two heads are better.
Mm-hmm. And so, but yeah, 1941 was kind of that movie that put Spielberg back on the path because it bombed so horribly. It was such a big budget movie. It had Dan Aykroyd, Belushi. I mean, it was a 6 Degrees of Separation movie. Christopher Lee is in there. There's a ton of recognizable.
Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. I feel like they've been in a movie together before.
Elwood, bro.
Yeah, at least one. But yeah, you watch that movie, it's like there's tons of recognizable people that pop up throughout that. The all-star cast. And, you know, I think I had a budget like $40 million in the 70s. Oh yeah, we got about 1 more minute. But this is a Spielberg movie. Richard Dreyfuss, John Goodman, Holly Hunter. I wish I could do a better Holly Hunter, but it's like, you know, Holly Hunter
I also wish you could do a better Hollywood.
Just bite your tongue and talk.
It's like, I need to get me a drink of water. That's almost Sling Blade, and I apologize.
So our next movie is Great Outdoors. We'll be reviewing. The Bald Butted Bear of Clare County.
Long story short, we're doing Spies Like Us next.
Naked Gun 33 and a third.
Which is a hell of a movie.
Yep.
But yeah, third up, we'll do Always. Go back and look at that one. I wanted to do that for a while. It's kind of Ghost before Ghost came out. It kind of beat Ghost to the punch.
Oh.
So
it's sort of like Dark City is to the Matrix.
Yes.
As Always is to Ghost.
Exactly. It's very much a date movie. It's a Valentine's Day kind of like, nothing movie. I don't know if nothing's the right word, but it's a lot more easygoing than a lot of Spielberg's other stuff. So anyway, that's what we got coming up. So
this has been another episode of Cinema Vino.
Go forever. And we thank you all very much. Sean Jordan, Travis Budd.
Welcome, Travis.
Peace. And Taylor, who will be with us again.
No, when he gets back from the Adirondacks.
If not now, in the afterlife.
He's done. He told me he don't want to do this anymore. He said, y'all fuck off. Eat dick, die.
Bless his sweet baboon heart.
I feel like Yoko. I came on and he just fucked off.
And I thought you were going to say Yoda, and I was all right with it.
I understood that reference.
So anyway, we will see you all next time. You can listen, rate, subscribe to Cinema Vino, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you choose to listen to your podcasts. My movie reviews are available at toddwoffordmovies.com.